Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat, or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. Today, I am going to be working on my colorful birds. This is one that you guys saw me kit up. I did a kit up of 3 kits recently. This is one of the ones that got kitted up into my tower, which is why you see all the drills here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this background color, and I'm just gonna go while I chat. So you don't see a tray because I have all my drills kitted up into these little inexpensive white trays I got on Amazon. So I don't have containers to pour back and forth from. So we'll see how this goes. This is one of those 3 kits that I really want to get done. It's what I call a snack size for me. 30 by 30s don't take that long. Depending on the amount of confetti, this will take me roughly 8 hours or so we'll see. But yeah, I thought I'd get started on this one while I chat. I'm just going to jump in, so let me rearrange a bit so I can zoom in so you can see where I'm working, and I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, guys, I'm ready to jump in. So let's just start with my life update. What's going on in my life? Well, the youngest has started school. The semester started. He's not having a good time. He is taking this math class, which he usually enjoys math, but he's just not enjoying this particular class, and I understand why. He has a professor, and this is an online class, mind you. He has a professor who has a very pronounced accent, which makes him difficult to understand in the videos. And this professor, for whatever reason, and I mean, I have taught online classes before. I somewhat understand the professor's point, but he has lectures that he has to watch. And in order to ensure that, I'm assuming that's the reason behind this, in order to ensure that the kids are watching the lectures, the professor has embedded their quiz questions in the lectures themselves. So they don't get a sheet or, a PDF or an assignment or whatever that says, here's your questions, answer them, this quiz is due whenever. They have to watch the lecture to find out what the quiz question is because it's contained within the lecture. Now, I told my son that part I get, especially when it's an online class. It can be really difficult for the kids to get what they need out of it. And especially when you're talking about a math class, making sure that you do the assignments. I mean, there's a reason those classes are scheduled for every day rather than 3 days a week. So I can understand him, putting the assignments within the lectures to make sure that the kids watch the lectures. And I told my son I don't have a problem with that. However, I don't think that not telling them how many questions there are, because, my son is so afraid he's going to miss one of the questions because sometimes he can't understand what the professor is saying. It doesn't come up and give it to him on a PowerPoint or whatever. He literally just states the question verbally in the lecture. He doesn't tell them how many quiz questions there are going to be in each quiz. So for the first 2, there's only been 1 question. And after this first week, he hasn't graded any of them, so none of the kids know how they've done. So there's a lot of them that are kind of freaking out a little bit because this is a required class for pretty much all college students. So understandably, you have to have this class and pass it in order to move on to some of the other classes that you need for your degree. And so I guess that several of them emailed the professor saying, is there a sheet somewhere, because my son had looked through the syllabus and it wasn't in the syllabus, telling us when each quiz is going to be, how many questions it is, and when it's due. And the professor sent out a blanket email to everybody basically saying no, that he was not going to be telling them how many quiz questions were in each lecture or week. He was not going to tell them what the questions were. And again, I can understand both of those things to force them to watch the lectures. But he also told them he wasn't going to give them any due dates, which for me, as somebody who used to teach college classes and teach people who were in night school and taking online classes because they had 9-to-5 jobs. Why does anyone say that, just as an aside? Who has a 9-to-5 job anymore besides a banker? And those are really more like 9-to-4, aren't they? So most of the rest of us work 8-to-5, if anything. Anyway, I dislike when professors do that because it feels like you're setting the kids up to fail. While yes, I'm sure there are probably some kids in the class that are going to be slackers and not pay attention to everything. There's people who have other important things going on in their life that they don't need to be worrying about, did I miss a due date for this class that I have to have? And also there's some very real world repercussions in that a lot of these people had to pay tuition. So it's not like this is a free class, so if they don't pass it, it's no big deal. They can just retake it. I mean, yes, they can retake it, but then they have to pay for everything again. And considering that the books for this particular class were roughly around $300 by the time everything was all said and done, and then you put tuition on top of that, yeah, I can see why people would be stressed. And again, I told my son, I get what he's doing, but I don't agree with it. He's annoyed. And I'm like, well, I think you should be less annoyed than most people because he's just a full-time college student. He doesn't have even a part-time job or anything, so he has plenty of time to do all of his homework and get everything done. He doesn't like that he has to spend as much time on it. One of his classes last year, he got upset because they're supposed to have this online system when it's an online class that tells them the due dates for everything, and it automatically puts them in their calendar. So he would just look at his calendar instead of going to the syllabus to know when his assignments were due. And I said, well, that's fine, but what's going to happen, and did happen, is that he ended up in a class where something got missed and he missed an assignment. Luckily for him, it was not a huge assignment. So, the 0 that he got on it because he didn't get it done didn't horribly affect his grade, but could have. So yeah, he's not a happy camper. He has to come in and scan, because it's a math class, so they have to show their work. So he has to come up here, use the printer to scan it in because it has to be turned in as a PDF. Then he has a certain way that he has to name it and everything. And I'm like, well, that's the price you pay for, having an online class. If you had a class where you were actually going to the university every day, you wouldn't be doing all of this. Not what he wanted to hear, but it is what it is. Like I said, I'm just hoping he's done, passes this class. He keeps telling me, because he took this math class in high school, but he didn't enjoy it then. And I said, well, you just got to do the best you can. And he goes, Mom, C's get degrees. And I'm like, well, while that is true, I would like you to aim a little higher than a C. So, which he will. He's a good student, but I didn't enjoy this class when I took it either. So can't blame him too much there. One of the other things the professor told them was that they had to take this basically like a pre-assessment quiz. And the professor told them if they couldn't do many of the problems on this, they should rethink taking this class, which I told my son. Again, while I understand where the professor is coming from because he is a mathematics professor, obviously math is important to him, and it is his job, this class is a required class for everyone pretty much at the university. I think there's one degree that doesn't require it. So it's really disingenuous of him to say something like that to students when many of them are not in there because they want to be. They're in there because they're forced to be, no matter what their degree is. I mean, my son is not a math major, but he has to have this class. I was not a math major, and I had to take that class. I had a professor tell me that when I was in college, when I got my bachelor's degree, and he basically came in and said, C is average and most of you are going to be average. Well, again, while all of that may be true, it's not a very nice thing to say to students. And consequently, most of us did not like him. which as a teacher, I would think makes your job that much harder. Like, do you purposely, I don't understand purposely making students, antagonizing them. Do you know what I mean? Like, if there were no students, you wouldn't have a job. It's their tuition that's paying your salary. So easy to forget that, I guess. So yeah, he's not having a great time. I have not had a whole lot going on personally this week other than it's been super hot here. So I've been staying in the house, just trying to stay cool. My poor husband, it's been pretty much over 100 degrees every day this week. One day with the, they always give you the actual temperature and then the feels like temperature. The feels like temperature was 120. Again, keep in mind, my husband and them, they're out in long sleeves and their fire retardant clothing, long sleeves, long pants, rubber gloves that go up to their shoulder when they're working on live wires, that kind of thing. They actually started work early a few days this week so they could get everything that, was going to kind of be out in the sun, hot, done early in the morning before it got super hot. My husband was not super happy about having to start early, but at least they weren't out digging holes in the 120 degree heat. So there's that. Just lots of random stuff going on this week, I guess. I got a package delivered. And you know how when you get a package delivered, sometimes they'll send you like a picture of the item on your porch so they can prove, hey, this item got delivered. I appreciate that. I got an email this week with a picture like that showing what I know is my front porch, but it was just a corner of the porch and of my front steps, and it didn't include the item in the picture. What is the point? All that proves to me is that someone was at my house. It doesn't prove they actually left the item. So a little confused on that one. I also, speaking of things that I had delivered, got my custom frame that I ordered for my gnome trio painting that I'm giving to my sister. It turned out so good. I'm so happy with it. I posted a picture of it, I think, on Facebook. I've already got it framed. I ordered the right size. Basically, all I had to trim was the extra off the edges and then pop it in the frame, and it all fit perfectly. So I'm super happy with how it turned out. The frame was a little more than I wanted to spend on it, but it looks really good. So I'm happy that I did. It probably would have been less expensive. What I should have done was wait until I had more than one frame to order. It would have saved me, because then the shipping would have been for multiple items. So it would have saved a bit of money, but it's all good. We're talking about, we assume our move to Canada is going to be sometime next summer, depending on how my son's classes go. I still want to take a trip up there. What I would like to do is take another trip up there while my son's in school, and then I would like to go by the local community college up there and see what it would be like to transfer. It's just he's so close to being done. I don't know if transferring would do him any favors. I'm afraid that transferring at this point would mean he'd end up having to take another semester's worth of classes and stuff, because stuff doesn't always translate. I mean, it's Canada to the US, but I don't know, just questions. Hubby's dad is doing okay, so, our move is not as urgent as we thought it was. He's now just kind of in a holding pattern until a spot opens up for him. So anyway, got the painting framed for my sister. I'm hoping to sometime this coming week get it to her. I know it's a Christmas present, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and give it to her so she can do what she wants with it. And then it's out of my hair. My oldest came over last night. I have been having her draw some things for me. I'm still having a ton of fun making cover release papers and stuff. So I had asked her to do some designs and things for me, and she's basically selling me the artwork so I can use it whenever I finally decide to open up an online shop. And I told her, well, this is also a portfolio for you. You can say, hey, here's all this stuff that I've done. She's big on TikTok, and I said, you could post stuff on your TikTok. You could open up, a small online shop, I can help you with that, or just get like a Ko-fi and open it up for commissions. She's actually was very thankful and said, you know, Mom, this has really been good for me, instead of just kind of coming home after work and sitting around playing games on the PlayStation. You know, she's been working on her art, and she's happy with some of the stuff that she's been creating, which she's really, you know, hypercritical of herself, I think. I think she's a really good artist. I mean, I'm biased, obviously, because she's my kid, but I still think she's a good artist, and, you know, have tried to convince her for years to, like, since she graduated from high school, to, you know, put some stuff online and just, you know, just take some commissions. Even if she only took one or two, she would, you know, be having fun drawing and be making a little extra money on the side. She still has a full-time job, so not that I think that you're gonna bust out overnight and suddenly be making so much money from your art that you don't have to have a regular job, but what if that happened? Wouldn't that be awesome? She really likes her job though, so, which I'm glad for her. Not too many people can say that. Okay, I think I've filled in, let me just fill in a couple more spots here. I think I've filled in most of the background color here. All right, so now I can start working on the birds. Or do I want to turn this and just keep doing? No, I want to not have to lay my hand in stuff, so I'm going to work on the birds and abandon the background color. Although I am really liking this. I like that it's not the white. Even though my drill placement isn't perfect, at least it's not as noticeable as it would be with a white background. All right, let me grab some bees here. So I have a few of those to put in. All right, so yeah, daughter was happy with me. Oh, and told hubby he should listen to me because, I mean, I'm usually right. Not always, but usually. When he went to his 4-10 work weeks, they work 10-hour days, 4 days a week, he was pretty excited because he only has to work 4 days a week, so he gets Fridays off. He's been working 5-10 weeks for, gosh, ever. They'll start out with something on 4-10s, and then pretty soon, before you know it, it's back to 5-10s. And he was so excited. He came home. They're starting this new job. It was only going to be 4-10, so he was going to have a 3-day weekend. And I said, okay. But, you know, that'll last a couple of weeks, a couple months maybe, until they either get behind or the rest of the people are like, we're used to making all this overtime. We want to go back to working our 5-10s. Sometimes it's because the job that they're on, they just, to get it done, you know, in the time frame that they need or whatever, they have to work extra. Yep, he came home and said, oh, they're almost done with the job they're working on. He's moving to a different job. It's a little bit further away, so he won't be as close to home, which is not great, but it is what it is. And he's closer than usual. It's not an hour drive, I'll give it that. But it's going to be 5-10s again. So he's, oh, it's so hot, and he doesn't want to work 5-10s. And I'm like, well, totally understand not wanting to work 5-10s, but it was an expensive month. So if we can help build back up, you know, our savings, and I would love to put some money back in our vacation fund so that we could take another trip up to see his parents and the rest of his family, that'd be good. He's still not thrilled about it. And I was like, well, you can always move to another job. You know, he's lucky enough that the way his job works, you know, he can work here where he can be home every night, or he could go work in California or on the East Coast, or, you know, but he just, then we have all those extra expenses of, you know, he's got to have some place to live because it's not feasible for him to fly back and forth. We did that for a while. One time, the company he worked for at the time was just not doing well. The companies he works for, they bid on jobs for the utility, and they just weren't getting a lot of work. And so it was right before Christmas. Like, I want to say, like, literally the week before Christmas, they basically laid everyone off. While he could collect unemployment, it was not enough at the time to pay all of our bills. And I was working part-time. I wasn't making a huge amount of money. And he ended up going out to California and working. this has been probably 6 years ago or something. I don't even remember what they had going on at the time, but they were doing some kind of big build out in California. So they were, you know, calling for workers out there, and California pay scale is a bit different. The cost of living out there is a lot higher. So the pay scale is a lot higher. So when you do what he did and just go out there for a little bit, you can make quite a bit of money and then come back here where the cost of living is less. He was out there for like 6 months. He went out there, he came home for Christmas, then he went back out there and he was out there. I think he came home for like spring break once while he was out there. The rest of the time he was out there working. And yeah, it was not fun. Do not recommend. I mean, the money was nice, but not having him home all the time. So yeah, other than that, just not had a lot of stuff going on this week. Like I said, just everybody trying to stay cool. Even my daughter, who, she works inside an air-conditioned school, they go outside for gym and recess, even though she has older kids, just to kind of let them run off their energy sometimes. She's like, Mom, it's so hot outside. I was like, well, yes, but at least you're not outside all day long like my poor husband. She came over yesterday to drop some more stuff off up for the things she's been drawing for me. And she's like, Mom, I didn't want to come over. It's so hot. And I said, why? We have air conditioning. And she's like, yeah, I just didn't want to get off my couch. Well, I can't help that. I mean, you only have to walk out to your air-conditioned car, drive, and then walk into our air-conditioned house. It's not that big of a deal. Can you imagine, hot as it is here? I used to wonder that when I was younger. We have, in the big town that's south of us, there is a like an old West frontier type museum place. When I was younger and I was in Girl Scouts, we would go there in the summer, and they had like a week-long program where, you know, Girl Scout troops would come and you would dress up like you were from the frontier, and we had to go to school and see, you know, in the one-room schoolhouse, and we did things where like they taught us how to tat, to make lace, and some other, you know, handicrafts and, you know, other things that frontier people would have done. All I remember is we had to dress up like we were, you know, back in the 1800s with the long prairie skirts and long sleeves and the bonnets, and it was so hot because nothing had any air conditioning, obviously. Doing calisthenics before school in a one-room schoolhouse with no air conditioning when it's 100 degrees. Yeah, after a couple of days, I was like, Mom, I don't ever want to do this again. Oh, well, it'll be a really good experience. I don't care. It's too hot. All right, so moving on to my diamond painting update. What's going on in my diamond painting life? Well, just trying to finish stuff up. I am working on this canvas today. I finished up Gamer Girl. You should have seen the post-completion review video for that. I really like the image, and I really wish the canvas would have turned out a little bit better. I mean, the size wasn't even the issue for me. I think the size would have been okay. It was the way they did the colors on her leg that just, yeah, made it kind of a non-starter for me. And so even though I had intended to frame it and hang it up when I started it, not gonna. It's just gonna go in my portfolio, which is in fact where it currently is, and that's probably where it will stay until I decide what I'm doing with it and all the rest of the projects in my portfolio. You know, there's a part of me that's like, I have pictures of everything. I have videos of pretty much everything I've ever done. I don't really need to hang on to the canvases, but then there's a part of me that's like, well, you know, they might be useful later for a video. Like I did a sealing video where I pulled out, you know, a kit that I had sealed over a year ago just to see what does it look like. Has it turned yellow? So maybe I need to hang on to them. I probably don't need to hang on to all of them though. So I finished Gamer Girl. I've been working on the Flamingo. That will be done soon. When I finish that one, I will share it with you guys. That was has been an interesting project. So again, a huge thank you to Susan for sending it to me. And then I have these 3 kits, this one, the fox, and the lighthouse that I want to finish. And then it'll be time for me to start another bigger project. I still need to finish or start. I need to work on my 02 one, which is one that I bought from the Old Mary's Diamonds. I really want to do the diamond painting shop that I just recently opened. It's not very big. It's only a 50 by 50, and I think I could finish it pretty quickly. Yeah, so just kind of figuring out, you know, where I need to go from here. Trying to look ahead. I need to start planning what's coming up. You know, for the last week, I've just kind of had my head down trying to finish things. I put in quite a bit of diamond painting time the last 3 or 4 days, and I'm almost at the end of August, so I'm going to need to sit down, review my goals, figure out where I'm at, figure out what I want to work on going forward. I have, you know, made progress on all of my goals, but where am I at? And so I need to look at that. DP for Vets is coming up quickly. That is on my radar. That's not coming up until November, so I still have a couple of months. However, I would like to have some sponsors for it this year, and I just am not good. Asking people for things is not my strong suit. I've posted a couple of times on social media and haven't really gotten a response, so I think what I need to do is just send out some emails to some diamond painting companies, and by that I mean, you know, people who make accessories and things. I have a kit for the event that I'm planning to use as the final prize package, one that I bought specifically for that purpose. But you know, if I could find someone who has a small business on Etsy or Shopify or wherever, doing like cover minders or trays or whatever, pens, whatever anybody would want to donate, that would be awesome. So if you know anyone, please pass that along. I would love to have some sponsors for the event. You know, they'll get their name on my social media postings and be mentioned, you know, when I do videos and stuff. If I can get enough things, I would like to do weekly giveaways again, like I did last year. So yeah, and also it's coming up, so don't forget to put that on your calendars that November, the month of November, we'll be doing DP for Vets again. And hopefully, you know, I'll be making my donation again. Hopefully some of you will as well. But at the very least, putting some goodwill out there and raising awareness for all of our military veterans. Oh, I got a notice that the 6-placer from Diamond Art Club was back in stock. I had a lot of you tell me that you've had issues with it fitting in pens. Now, I got my 3-placer to fit in this particular pen, but I had issues with it fitting in, like it doesn't fit in every single pen. So I'm not quite sure what that's about. I would have thought they were a standard size, but I guess not. And all I did, or all I'm going to do, I'm going to wait until I get the 6-placer, but I've got extra of those little silicone bands that go around them. And I'm just going to hopefully be able to use those to make them fit in the pins that I want to. Because it does fit in this pin, but it is a little more wobbly than I would like. So definitely am aware that that might be an issue with the 6-placer. I did get an email like the day after I ordered it saying, oh, your order is shipped. I didn't even go look because I'm pretty certain that it's just going to tell me they created a shipping label and it doesn't mean the item actually shipped. So we'll see what happens there. I do have some exciting things coming up, hopefully for you guys. So I am working on that as well. Working on, you know, what videos I want to work on next. And let's see, I've ordered a couple of kits from some new to me companies, so I'll be sharing those. The big thing that I've kind of had rattling around in the back of my brain is that because we likely are not going to move to Canada until sometime next year, that instead of waiting, because I thought our move was going to be more imminent than it apparently is, that I would go ahead and open a small online store for some of the stuff that I have made related to diamond painting. I'm not really interested in selling diamond painting kits. I might get into that at some point. Actually, currently I'm interested in trying to figure out how to print my own. I've been looking at what do printers cost where I could print my own so I wouldn't like have to send my artwork anywhere. Not my artwork as in something that I drew, but like for instance, if it was something my daughter drew that I wanted to turn into a diamond painting, then I wouldn't have to worry about it going someplace else or whatever. Oh no. You guys, this is what my week has been like. I just realized I put those all on the wrong symbol. I pulled out the wrong color because they look similar on the schematic and they are not the right ones. So I'm going to continue to talk while I pull off all of these drills that I just placed on the wrong symbol. I did this exact same thing at least twice that I can think of with the flamingo. This one was just because I actually misread. That's what I was trying to think of. Geez, my brain today. Obviously not firing on all cylinders, as you can see, since I now get to pick all of these off. Oh, I can't believe I did that. Anyway, I did it several times on the flamingo, and I mean, I had picked out the drills and I knew what symbol I was supposed to be placing them on. I just, for whatever reason, my brain went, oh, put them on this one instead, and that one just went flying, and I ended up having to pick them off. And yeah, this is one of my least favorite things about diamond painting. And honestly, I could have just left them, but on this one, I've actually, the color that's supposed to go here is quite a bit darker, so the shading will look wrong if I leave it. Because I will admit there, you know, if I had realized that I was doing it wrong before I had this many on there, I might have just left it. There were definitely several places. The flamingo is very confetti heavy, and there are definitely places on the flamingo where I was just like, you know what? I placed this drill in the wrong place. It's just going to stay there because no one will ever know but me. And it's not worth it to go back and just pull off that one drill. But yeah, when I do something this dumb, gosh, I can't believe I did this. I wish there was a way to like pull them off easier than doing it one at a time. Like if I didn't already have drills on here, like in this little section, I can probably just push them up a little bit with my straightener and get them off. But when I already have other drills placed around them, I hate to do that because then they all get shuffled around, and that's not good either. Also, these are going to be sticky on the back, which makes them not great to work with later, but what can I do? Oh, okay, so anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, my diamond painting shop. So I've done so many different things, I kind of don't know what to include, what not to include. Like I said, I'm not really interested in doing actual diamond painting kits. I definitely want to do release papers. I'm having so much fun. I actually did order the legal size silicone paper that's like, it's made to be like kitchen craft paper. I ordered some of it and I tried it out, but while it did work with my inkjet, it is, as Joan Diamond Paints pointed out in her video, it is very thin, which even with the, you know, design printed on it, it's pretty transparent, which some people might like. I don't particularly. I mean, I figure if you're buying, you know, release paper for the cute design, you probably want to see the cute design, not something that's underneath it. So definitely want to do those. I've had a lot of fun making cover minders, so I'm thinking that I would do those as well. I don't, of course, stickers, but I don't know which ones, like which ones would be the most useful. I have just plain, you know, diamond stickers in both round and squares that you can use to like, you know, kit up if you're doing like diamond painting storage, or if you're just using them as like container stickers that you can just literally, it just has like a little diamond on it and you write in, you know, the stickers, whatever. I've got some fun stickers that I've made, you know, that have like little diamond painting sayings and stuff like that. Of course, we have the vinyl decals that my husband makes, you know, the little like holographic diamond vinyl decal. I've got one that says I'd rather be diamond painting. We could make some more of those. Have done in the past, you know, my diamond painting storage. I don't know what the price point would be, because it's kind of labor intensive. So I don't know if it would be worth selling that. I mean, I could sell just the stickers, you know, already cut. I don't know if people would be interested in like the little tab dividers that fit the stickers. Like, you know, I alternated them on each side, that kind of thing. If people would be interested in that. I mean, I could just sell the stickers and then people could put it together themselves. But I mean, they're made for a specific size, so I don't know if that matters. I've seen a lot of people on Etsy selling stuff like that, but like also selling the, you know, container, storage box, or whatever that it's made for. So you get the stickers, the tab dividers, and all of that, and the storage container. So all you really have to get is the, you know, baggies to bag everything up. Don't know if there would be interest in that. I am going to be revamping my logbook for 2024, but I don't know if I want to charge for that. My thought was I would offer the digital download for free, and then if people wanted to pay me to put it together, I could do that. I do like the size and everything that I did this year, so I think for next year I will leave it the same, you know, 8.5 by 11. It just made it so much easier to print out pages and, you know, put it together with the disc system. I love the disc system. I know there's a lot of people that, like I saw somebody the other day who was doing like almost like a hardbound diamond painting logbook. For people who want that, that's great. I personally want and need to be able to take my pages out and, you know, rearrange them or put them in a different order if I need to, or add or subtract. And I like the disc system because it lets me do that. But yeah, thinking of revamping that for 2004. Then, like I said, leaving the download as free, the digital download, but then charging if people wanted to buy like a physical copy. Not sure what the interest would be in that. Yeah, I don't know what else. I think the release paper, the stickers, the cover minders are my big three. You know, I know how to do all those. I know how labor intensive they are and that kind of thing for pricing and all that kind of stuff. So, and the logbook is kind of a one and done kind of thing. I mean, yeah, there's some design time that I spend on it, but then once it's done, it's done. And I don't really mess with it until the next year. So yeah, leave me a comment below and let me know what you think, what you'd be interested in. You know, I've got, like I said, just the plain blank stickers that I could sell for labeling your own containers. I've got the stickers that would have all of the DMC numbers for making your own storage containers, for spare drill storage. I've got lots of diamond painting related stickers and things. I thought about doing like some shirts and stuff, but I just really don't want to get into the print on demand business yet. Maybe at some point, but not for, you know, print on demand shirts and mugs and things like that. Not where I want to be at the moment. So, and if I've forgotten something that you guys think you'd be interested in, let me know that as well. If it's, you know, something that I can do fairly easily, I would love to. I don't think I would go the Etsy route if I decide to do this. I'm still looking at logistics and things like that, but I think rather than doing Etsy, I'd just do Shopify. Seems like it would be a lot easier to kind of control and have a lot of options that I wouldn't have if I did an Etsy shop. Okay. Whew, that was annoying. I can't believe I did that to myself, but I got them all off of there. All right, let me zoom out here. I didn't get a ton done, but that's okay. I've got a nice little corner started here. I would have had more done if I hadn't had to spend all that time picking off my mistake, but you know how it goes, right? Part of the fun of diamond painting. You would think I would learn. I think I'm going to call that there for today, guys. I need to go get a drink and relax for a bit after I just picked off all of those drills. So I'm going to do that. Thanks for sticking around till the end of the video. I hope you made some progress on whatever your project is. Before you leave, guys, don't forget to do all the things. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.